Welcome to the On Deck podcast presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville here with Tyler Wiemann, about to break down some of the baseball on deck for today. It is Friday, May 13th. Friday the 13th. I saw a funny meme that said, Friday the 13th, still better than Monday whatever. And I thought that was funny. And it's so true. So
I'll take a Friday every day.
It is also National Blame Someone Else Day. So if this podcast bombs today, I'm blaming you.
It's my fault. Or it's your fault.
Sounds good. And as Tyler said before the show, that you guys can all blame us if your lineups do poorly today.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fine with
you gotta blame somebody. It's not yourself.
It's National Blame Someone Else Day.
I can take it.
All right, let's take a look at who we're going to rely on and not blame for some fantasy baseball projections today, specifically the pitchers. We're going to talk about our high-owned guys first in our chalk report. Mets, Max Scherzer, no surprise here, tops the list. The righty going up against the Mariners today. He's 42% owned on DraftKings, 40% on FanDuel. What's there to say about Max Scherzer besides the guy's just absolutely dealing? Fifth most strikeouts, hasn't had less than 7 strikeouts, and the Mariners not great in terms of some of their hitting stats.
Yeah, Mariners are like 12th to 16th in most of the advanced stats, so they're not great hitting wise. They are 8th in WRC plus versus righties. But Scherzer, he's great, mid 2s FIP. He's had that for not only this year, but also the last 20 starts. Combined K rate's 28%. We really don't need to go into too much detail.
Just other than he's awesome.
Yeah, he's great, and everybody else thinks so too.
There's a lot of great pitchers on the slate, including Blue Jays righty Kevin Gausman going up against the Rays today. His ownership levels about 30% on DraftKings, 15% on FanDuel. It is, I think, worth noting that this morning, it was Clayton Kershaw who was on this list, but he's not anymore because Walker Buehler's getting the start ahead. I believe that Kershaw was placed on the 15-day injured reserve list. So that's just something to note there. Therefore, Kevin Gausman comes in as the number 2 most owned pitcher, but easy to see why. Top 20 in just about every category. Last outing, just 1 earned runs on 6 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And that was actually the lowest strikeout output he's had this season. What do we like about him going up against the Rays today?
I think you could make a case for him to be the highest owned pitcher today.
Okay.
One thing that I did see that I'm just astonished about, in 38 innings pitched this year, he has given up 1 walk.
Wow.
1 single walk. He also, with that, has a 31% K rate, a crazy .78 FIP. He's just been absolutely incredible. Tampa Bay is a decent offense, but they do strike out at 26%, so there is some upside with this too. They're tied for 9th with WRC plus. The one thing I would like to bring up is the Gausman BVP numbers. In 30 at-bats against Tampa Bay, Tampa's hitting 300 and has 3 home runs against him. But I think that all comes back from like an awful 2018 game that he had against Tampa. So I wouldn't go too much into that. He's just a totally different pitcher now than he was then too.
And I think this game is in Tampa at Tropicana. So it's pitcher-friendly park. We like that.
And, I mean, Gausman's unreal.
Yes. As you were reading those stats, I'm like, wow, that is pretty good. That is definitely some lights-out pitching right there.
Yes.
How about Tigers lefty Eduardo Rodriguez going up against the Orioles today? And maybe not the same stats as the previous 2. They're kind of in a different category.
Way cheaper, though.
Well, that counts.
Yeah.
4.50 ERA last time out, though. Gave up just 1 hit. Granted, it was a home run against the Astros. 8 strikeouts in that one, 6 2/3. And then going up against the Orioles today, who have the highest strikeout versus lefties. So you can see why I mean, he's cheap, so that's obviously an attraction there. And then any team facing the Orioles, you like those strikeout numbers.
Totally. And so Erod on the year, 3.94 FIP. He has like a 25% K rate. As you said, Baltimore is striking out. Towards lefties, they're striking out 27.5%, and they are the 5th worst in WRC+. The one thing, though, is Baltimore has hit Erod pretty well. In 92 plate attempts, they're hitting 318 with 4 home runs and 247 ISO. However, over the last 2 years, Erod also has averaged 22 DraftKings points versus them. So there's some kind of data going either way. Probably why he's so cheap. But there is some upside.
So do you like that particular play given the value?
If he was low owned, I would like it. On DraftKings, on FanDuel, I'd probably stay away because I'd want some more upside from some of the higher price guys. On DraftKings, I might kind of get crazy and fade that. Baltimore's kind of been hot lately.
It is Friday the 13th. Time to get weird, people.
It is. That's true.
All right.
It's true.
Let's continue to get weird and take a look at our low-owned pitchers. And the first guy is the Cole train. New York Yankees ready, Garrett Cole. Should I do?
Yes.
Coming through the Cole train, going up against the White Sox today. 6 1/3 last time out versus the Rangers. 1 run, 5 hits. Was a home run there. Season high, 10 strikeouts though. So he started the year off a little shaky. People were a little concerned. Hey, maybe he's not the same guy without the sticky stuff, but he's been turning it around the last few starts.
He has, and he showed last year at the end of the year that he was okay without sticky stuff. He's a little more inconsistent without it, though. That's for sure. But he has a 3.23 FIP over the last 5, 31.5% K rate. The combined K rate's 25% today. The one thing I did find is that Garrett Cole's strikeout prop is 7.5 today, and that's even plus 100. So that looks a little high.
Yes.
So sportsbooks
are what we call a head scratcher.
Well, especially given the fact that the White Sox 2 righties are only striking out 19% of the time. The sports books are really favoring him today is kind of how I take that.
Yeah.
So at lower ownership, I really do like it.
Maybe not take the prop, but take the guy on.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, the White Sox implied total is 3.5, which is right around, the same for the higher owned pitchers.
All right. Next, let's take a look at Max Fried, the Braves lefty going up against the Padres today. 2.68 ERA, allowed 4 hits or less in 4 of his 5 starts this year. Not bad. Padres, hate to tell you this as you are a Padres fan, but they are bottom 3rd in average. So is that why why you are looking at this particular matchup? Of course, because you are an objective analyst and you don't let your emotions cloud your judgment.
I mean, this could cloud it a little bit. Besides Machado and Hosmer, the Padres can't hit anything.
Okay. Realistic.
So if Fried, especially Machado, because Machado has been absolutely crushing lefties. If Fried is able to stay out of trouble with them, I think he does well tonight.
Yeah.
And then over the last 3 seasons, Fried's been excellent versus the Padres. He's averaging 8 innings, 5.5 Ks, and 0.5 earned runs per outing versus the Padres. The combined K rate, 22%. SD's implied totals, 3.3. So you may not have the K upside here as some of the other guys, but low runs and
might not be a bad play.
He may go kind of far into the game, too.
Yeah. All right. So not a bad play there in that game. Now let's take a look at Red Sox righty Nick Pavetta going up against the Rangers. And not great numbers for him. He's 0-4 in the year. 6.08 ERA. Although last time he shut out the White Sox offense. They went scoreless in 6 innings pitched and had 8 strikeouts. That was a random one. Rangers have the 5th lowest team average, so could be some value maybe in that matchup.
Yeah, so his ERA is terrible, and we picked on him a lot earlier in the season. Even started calling him Nick Poverty.
Okay, we had to clarify that. So that is if they didn't see the one show where we explain that.
Yes.
It was because you were texting me about him, and your phone auto-corrected to poverty. And since we think that's hysterical,
it was fitting.
as it is.
It was fitting at the time, too, because he was just getting blown up.
Exactly.
So, but he does have a 3.73 FIP over the last 5 games and a 25% strikeout rate. So there is some upside there. Texas versus righties, 5th worst, and they strike out 22%. So he is kind of cheap. Seems like he maybe have turned it around. The FIP is way lower than his ERA. So I would expect that ERA to come down.
So this is more of a play if you want to get maybe one of a Scherzer.
Yes.
Or Gosman,
this is a play to if you want to pay up for offense and still get one of the stud pitchers also.
Gotcha. Well, how about...
Same with the other play. Same thing here.
Yeah. We have a theme going here.
Yep.
Jordan Lyles, Orioles righty, going up against the Tigers. 4.05 ERA last outing, 2 earned runs, 7 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts in 7 1/3. We're looking at the Tigers with the 3rd lowest batting average versus righties. Is this going to keep with our theme here of the day? I was just trying to get some value on offense by getting some cheap pitchers.
It is kind of doing that. With Lyles on DraftKings, again, these last 2 plays are more for DraftKings. He's 5,400, so you put him and a Scherzer or Cole together, and you still have a ton of money left over for offense. But
Judge, Stanton, the
exactly,
whole squad.
all your boys.
Trout.
Who lit it up yesterday. So anyways, Lyles, 4.04 FIP. He has a 3.18 ERA in the last 5 games. He's been pitching decently because the combined K rate is only 21%, but at that price tag, that's actually probably a little high. Detroit versus righties has been terrible. 2nd worst in WRC plus, 3rd worst in average, and a 24% K rate. So I like the play. I don't love it. LineStar projections are really pushing him a little bit today too. So a lot of things going for him.
Yeah. And our LineStar projections are pretty accurate. And we've got a brand new website.
Yes.
And if you're not already checking out our website, be sure to go to linestarapp.com or download our app. If you want to optimize your lineup, I used stats yesterday from it, and I was in the winnings yesterday. We're in plus money, people. We're winning some money on the daily fantasy slate. All right, now let's take a look at some of our stacks, some places we can find some nice hitters. First, taking a look at some high-owned stacks here. We're looking at the Royals going up against the Rockies lefty Kyle Freeland at Coors Field. So we know why this one is very appealing to everyone. And Freeland has a 5.57 ERA at home. He hasn't been a terrible pitcher. I think it's just the Coors effect.
It is. It's totally. And Colorado's kind of high-owned, too. We're not really going to go too into detail about them, but they're like 3rd or 4th probably highest owned today. But yeah, it's the Coors effect. It's a 4.9 implied total. However, KC is 2nd worst versus lefties. So they haven't been that great versus lefties, and they've had a super low .086 ISO. So they haven't been hitting the ball that hard, which in Coors, it's if you're not going to get those home runs, it's not quite as exciting. But Freeland to righties is giving up 372 ISO and a 214, WOBA and a 214 ISO. So he's been giving up a lot of contact to righties. There's a lot of righties in the lineup, so people are going to go there.
Are you going there? That is the question. Sounds like we want to fade the Royals.
My normal is to kind of fade the highest owned team hitting wise, and if I can find a few reasons why, then I will. And Freeland isn't terrible, so that's probably why I will be fading him.
We'll take a look at some of those reasons why in our low own, but first let's take a look at the Twins going up against Cleveland righty Aaron Savale. 9.45 ERA. Whoa. Has given up a home run in 4 of his last 5 starts. Is that why? Watch out for Byron Buxton in this one, folks.
Absolutely. He's given up 42% hard contact rate, 1.8 home runs per 9. His FIP is 5, so it's still not even much better than the 9 ERA. Minnesota is average versus righties, but they do have 5 guys at or close to 200 ISO going against righties. So they have a lot of guys that could pick on Savali. And, yeah, like
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Nice play there. Okay, now taking a look at some of our lower owned stacks. And if we're going the strategy of Tyler, we're definitely fading some of those higher owned stacks and going with some value. And where we can find that is with the Yankees today going up against White Sox righty Vince Velasquez, who quite frankly just hasn't been great, especially when you look at last year's stats as well. So what do you like about this play?
Yeah. One, the Yankees are incredibly hot. Velasquez.
There's that.
Velasquez has also been a gas can at times. Last year for the Padres, he allowed 4.8 home runs per 9. I'm not mad about it.
You're not mad.
Not mad. I'm happy he's
little
off the
bit.
team. I'm happy he's off the team. It was only in like 4 starts.
Just
but
didn't work out.
It didn't work out. We got him out of there.
It was him, not you.
He's yes, it was him. It was totally him. This year, there's been a little bit of the same where he has allowed a lot of home runs, a lot of hard contact. He's giving up over 200 ISOs, both to righties and lefties, and it's 248 to righties. So he does have a little bit of reverse splits. And then warm weather in Chicago. So, we're going to go with it.
All right, let's go with the Yankees today for a low-owned stack. How about the Angels? Another team with a lot of guys that can hit the ball really far. And they're going up against A's righty Dalton Jeffries. He's got a 5.22 ERA, giving up 3.23 to right-handers. So I could easily see some guys teeing up against Jeffries today.
Absolutely. And I mean, the Angels have been the best team in the league to righties. They have a team 196 ISO, which is insane. Implied totals for Dalton's giving up like an 89 mile an hour average exit velocity. He's given up over 4 runs in the last 3 starts. And the one thing is he hasn't given up a ton of home runs. And the Oakland ballpark suppresses home runs a little bit. But he has given up a lot of hits, a lot of runs. So most likely if the Angels are going to do it, it's going to be a full team, hits,
full
doubles.
Hit parade.
Triples, a little parade, have a party, and wear that cowboy hat.
Wear the cowboy hat, which is awesome, by the way. I love a cowboy hat. I've been watching a lot of Yellowstone, too, so that's besides the point. All right. That's some great value for you today in Daily Fantasy. Now it is time for our home run calls. So, where are you headed for today with your home run call?
I am going to make you happy. I'm going to Chicago, picking on the White Sox with Giancarlo Stanton.
There you go.
He is just so hot right now.
2 home runs yesterday. That was crazy.
An average exit velocity over the last 2 weeks has been over 100 miles an hour, 50% hard contact rate. We are going Stanton to go yard.
There was also this video of a fan heckling him did you see that?
Oh, I didn't.
Like right before. So if you look it up on Twitter, it's great. So the fans heckling him, basically saying, "You're overrated. You're overrated." The next swing, home run, boom. Take that.
Did he stare down the fan afterwards?
I don't know if he did, but
would have been great.
They do say success is the best revenge.
Yes.
Well, I think today is going to be a great day for Mr. Aaron Judge. All rise, gavel. 700 is what he's slugging in the month of May. He's leading the league in home runs with 11, and today going up against White Sox, Vince Velasquez, who's got a 3.97 ERA. He hasn't gone past 5 1/3 too, and the White Sox bullpen bottom 10, and Velasquez giving up a 6.19 slugging versus righty bats. Also, this is at plus 235 if you want to throw some money down on an Aaron Judge home run. Love to see that. I think he hits a bomb today. Another Judge home run. All rise. Next up, prop bets. All right, you've been really leaning into the pitching props, and you've been doing pretty well with them. So I get your strategy.
Going back at it today, we got yesterday's with Cease with the weirdest stat line ever: 11 Ks, 6
but
earned runs.
Completely lit up, yeah.
But
other than that, Hey, at least
we won. So who
you
cares?
hit your prop.
We won. Your Yankees won. You know,
It's a great day.
it's a good day. All right. So today we're going Dane Dunning over 4.5 Ks at minus 116. Combined K rate today is 23.7%. Dunning has hit 4.5 in 4 of 6 games. And he's hit it in every start at home this year, where he's averaging 5.6 Ks per game at home. And those have been against Houston, Atlanta, and the Angels. So 3 good offenses.
There you go. Going with the
We're doing it.
pitching prop. All right, I'm going to keep it with the Yankees. We're going Giancarlo Stanton to get an RBI. That's at plus 115. I kind of debated whether I wanted to go with an RBI prop here or over 1.5 bases, but I decided for RBI because he has hit this mark in 4 of the last 6 games. He's also batting in the cleanup spot, or at least he has been. I don't know where he's batting today, but I'm assuming he's going to be in that 4 spot. So that should help those odds as well. Another thing that should help those odds is Stanton absolutely crushing right-handed pitching this year, over a 300 average against them. And then when you look at Velasquez, well, he's giving up a 333 average to right-handed batters. Giancarlo Stanton, give me an RBI. Plus 115. Let's go.
I like it. Let's do it.
Lastly, let's take a look at our weather for today. We do have a couple ones to note. We've got some spotty showers and isolated thunderstorms in Washington. Although anything heavy enough actually should be clear before first pitch, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. Another place that shouldn't be too much of an issue is Citi Field. The Mets are expecting maybe a 20% chance of rain. Sprinkle at worst, no issue there. Then we've got Atlanta, some 26% chance, should be some storms. They should be north, though, until after the game. Then we've got some rain in St. Louis. I've read a report that storms should be west of St. Louis, so it might not affect that. But just some things to keep an eye on. And weather in Detroit, 81 degrees. Love to see those temperatures up so we can possibly see some more hitting. We need some more runs and hits. So we need those temperatures up for that. All right, well, and if your lineups don't do well today is National Blame Someone Else Day. So go ahead, blame Tyler. You can leave it in the comments.
You can blame Shannon, too.
That's enough for us today. We're out of here. See you next time.
Bye. Have a good weekend.